Hey YouTube, I'm working on another set of bevel siding cutters. You can see there in the driveway we got a good dusting of snow last night. Not enough to shovel, just enough to be a nuisance. Some flurries falling here and there. Not a lot going on outside, really overcast. No sun today at all. It's hard to tell what time of the day it even is. Okay guys, so today, like I was saying, I'm working on making some bevel siding cutters, and these are the pieces shined up and ready to weld, so I can put them all together. I'm after one of these, in case you forgot what they look like, for cutting beveled siding. And I have to be shipping these out this week sometime, so I need to get them done now. I want to be able to put these on a 90-degree angle to one another. So I have this magnet that I bought that makes a 90 there. It's pretty neat. The one thing about using the magnet is that you can't weld too close to the magnet or it goofs up the molten metal. At least that's what I noticed. So all I want to do is put a tack or two inside there just to hold the metal together. And then I'll be welding the whole outside of that. Now the other side, I have these blocks that are exactly 2 inches. They're made from MDS or MDF. And what they do is they help me to make it so that when I go to put this onto the Woodmizer frame, that it's a perfect fit. It's just from scratch. It's just enough that it doesn't scratch the paint. That's how tight it is. I'm just tacking them together to make sure that everything is right on here. And that's all I'm going to do with that. So that is the piece that goes around the frame of the Woodmizer, of the bunk. Okay? So that goes around the bunk. I have to grab another one. So this is the second of the set, the second piece of the set. Again, I know that that's square there, so these pieces are exactly 2 inches, and I can use those to hold this, and it'll be just on the inside of that metal. Now I don't know if you can see here, that's down a little bit there, and And that's okay because I'm going to be grinding all this after the fact. So I'll leave the pieces of wood in there just long enough for that to cool down a little bit. It helps the metal to not come together on the inside here. But either way, this is made out of stuff that's just the right thickness, that when you push it on, it sort of grabs the bunk. There's no need to bolt these to the bunk. All you gotta do is push them all the way down and pull them against the stop, where the little metal stop on the Woodmizer bunk rail. Okay, so that's the mock-up for the two parts that go on the rail. Now, the parts that go on to the top of that, a little bit different. What has to happen is after they're all welded together, these two, this piece that looks just like those on each side here has to be able to fit over this. Now you can see this is a lot bigger. I cut them 1/4 of an inch bigger because I was using the plasma cutter, and this is the first time I've actually used the plasma cutter to do anything that I actually need to have right, and I made them too big, so I'm going to have to trim them off. But this is how these are going to go on there. They'll get welded underneath to this top piece, and then that'll get cleaned up there. And this piece then is the thing that gets the cam in it to be able to make this go up and down to make the bevel siding. Okay, so these two blocks you can see are wider, these bottom ones. The small ones are made for the pieces that go right directly to the bunk. So now these bigger pieces are made so that the part that goes over top of those fits as close as it possibly can. Now, like I say, I had cut that thing a little too big because I wasn't sure with the plasma cutter of where I wanted to put it exactly. So, but it got welded right where you see it. And then I'll just cut that off after the fact. Now, this is what it'll look like when it's basically done. And you can see it's got a nice fit over top of the other one. There's about 1/8 of an inch going to be on each side, and that's what I find that works the best. It doesn't bind at all, you know, no matter what the temperature changes to. So That's the top piece. Now having the milling machine comes in handy here because I can cut any kind of a shape into the side here to put the cam in. Same thing with that. What I do is I'll put this piece in to keep the milling machine from forcing down on the side, and then I can cut whatever shape I want, round, square, whatever, basically with the milling machine to get the cam to be able to work easily. Okay, so I gotta get another one. So I've got another one there that I want to tack together. Put the block of wood in there, and then the other side piece. Now you can see why I cut these bigger. When I was cutting this with the plasma cutter for the first time, like I say, that I actually needed the plasma cutter to cut, and I'm not good enough with it yet to actually make nice straight cuts. I'm doing a little bit of gouging here and there. So that's why I made the piece a little bit bigger, so that I would be able to grind it down and not have any problems with it. Sometimes this is what you do. I sometimes make the pieces bigger even if I'm just cutting them with the grinder, just to make sure that they're right. Okay, so that's the second one there. That'll go over top of this. This goes up and down, holds the log, or the cant, the 8-inch cant, so that you can cut the bevel on it. Now these little pieces here, they get welded on the back of this, okay? And what that's for is so that when you're working this up and down here, that the cant doesn't slide off. You get to push the cant against that. And this piece here, which will be even with that, hits the little tab that's on the bunk rail. It works pretty good. Actually, it'll be this way with this little indentation out. So I need to weld all this together solidly and then grind things down. But it looks nice and square, which is what I'm after. And this way here it won't give any problems when the guy goes to use it to cut siding. Now this side here, I'm going to trim that off there so I don't have so much metal. I'm going to bevel it a little bit so I can fill up the little opening there with weld good. So on this side you can see that it's all welded there. This is what it looks like when it's ground down then. So I'll just primer this and paint this after I'm done cutting holes in it and whatever else I need to do. Little Bullseye just went for a walk. He wants his collar off and his cookie. It's hard for me to do this Bullseye with one hand, you know it. Why don't you help? Huh? Come on, let's get your cookie. What do you want, your cookie? Where is it? Where's your at? Well guys, if I knew for sure what I was going to do outside, I would leave this stuff sit where it is and worry about it later, leave the truck outside. But since I don't know what it's going to do and I got coal in the truck, I need to clean this mess up so that I can bring my truck back in here. Oh, I just got done with walking Bullseye, like I said. Really weird day. When their days are ominous like this, I think it does something to your freaking bones, because man, I ache. Something has her spooked, or him. Watch her legs, she'll stomp them. She wants to get whatever she's spooked by to move. Probably mother deer.